ladies, two things you need to understand. One is you need to accept that things are just the way they are, that life is what it is. You can't change that. You are as physically good looking as you are, and you're going to attract a certain number of men, and you can choose the best of those guys, period. That's it. I doubt Brad Pitt or George Clooney is going to come knocking on your door anytime soon. Number two, you need to appreciate whatever it is you do have. If you find a good man that you are really attracted to and you enjoy his company and you think he is an honorable man, you need to appreciate him like he is solid gold. Because the market has changed. Men have a lot more options these days. Men are going to be much less likely to marry because all the incentives in marriage favor the woman leaving the man. So there's no point from a man's perspective to make that kind of commitment, especially without dedicating an enormous amount of thought and energy to it, and perhaps even getting some legal advice. And don't be shocked if he asks you to sign a prenup, just because, like I said, all the incentives in the legal system favor the woman leaving the man. And yeah, most men these days have no interest in playing that game at all. It's really fascinating that if you go online today, you will find that there are entire genres of channels on social media that deal specifically with the phenomenon of women struggling to find men. And it's hilarious on one level because men are very strongly motivated by sex, and women are the best place to get sex, at least for heterosexual men. And this is a biological drive we have. I mean, this is something that is ingrained in our bodies, physically, chemically. We are driven for sex. And yet, women are having a hard time finding men. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. You guys got to ask yourselves, what are you doing wrong here? I mean, you got, people in the desert looking for water, and you've got a giant water truck, and they're walking right by. They're walking right by you. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the details here. So there was a meme some time ago on the hot to crazy ratio. So I don't want to insult anyone, but I have a problem with the hot to crazy ratio. And for those of you who don't know, on a graph, the y-axis going up is hotness, on the x-axis going out is craziness. And generally speaking, the further up the hot axis you go, the further out the crazy axis you get. And it's hilarious, it's a funny joke, but I have a little problem with that. I don't think crazy is the right word, because you get out to, really beautiful women and you'd have psychopaths, and they're not psychopaths. Some are narcissists, but they're not psychopaths. So it's really not about crazy, it's about maintenance. And that's the thing that women don't get, is men hate maintenance. We just don't want to maintain it, If you've got tons and tons of demands that you're going to place on your man, you're going to be out the door. No guy wants to put up with that shit. I'm telling you that right now. You need to be a self-sufficient, fully formed adult human being who can take care of herself, who then attracts an adult, fully formed human being who can take care of himself. And you form a blissful union on equal terms without all the bullshit. And it really does come down to that. It feels like women are always chasing the next shiny thing. You're like a cat with a laser pointer. You're so easily distracted. It's like, if you really want a man, when you get a man, you better appreciate him. Because it's been my experience, and I've heard it from a lot of my followers here who are mostly men, like 90% men, that the relationship breaks down after the first few years of marriage, and a woman declares, the most common reason for divorce right now, especially for people over age 50, just not happy. WTF, really? You're just not happy. Well, whose fault is that? I mean, is that his fault? That you're not happy? Come on, take responsibility for yourself. Please, you're not gonna get happiness in your marriage. That's not what it's there for. All right, so what men are really looking for? Ideally, if you were to create the perfect situation for the vast majority of men, they would be looking for someone who meets the same criteria that they have for a best friend, someone they can trust, someone who's loyal, someone who's got their back, someone they will enjoy hanging out with, someone who they can communicate with frankly and straightforwardly, but then at the same time, someone they can have sex with and that they're physically attracted to. That's pretty much it. Now, for women who think that physical attraction is the main thing, it oftentimes is, all things being equal, but there is another factor that women just seem to bring to the table, and that is maintenance. If you're a low maintenance girl, I mean really low maintenance, and you need to hear that from a man who says, yeah, you are truly a low maintenance girl, and he's not doing it just to get laid. He is telling you straight up, you're a really cool chick. Guys like hanging out with you because you've got this nice mannerism about you. If you like that, then your stock goes sky high. Your physical attractiveness is not anywhere near as important as your maintenance level. At the end of the day, men want intimacy and sex and a close relationship, but they don't want to have to jump through hoops to have it. Recently, I dated a woman who told me that she believed in traditional gender roles, and I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Turns out what she was talking about was me fixing and paying, me fixing things around her house and paying for stuff. And I wasn't sure what her gender role was. I didn't get it. So I've given some more thought to what real gender roles are from my perspective, and I think from most men's perspective. In this traditional relationship between men and women, men provide security and safety. Women provide comfort and intimacy. And that intimacy includes sex. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a man. He is going to come with the security and the safety. He's going to be providing a lot economically and physical safety as well. Like I said, most men will give their lives for you. But in return, comfort, that means being low maintenance. Don't put a lot of demands on your man. Don't treat him like a child. All you ladies are focused on, the top 10% of guys, the rich, good-looking guys. And who would blame you? I mean, if, I could go for the rich, hot girls and I could get them, I would do that. But for some reason, men seem to have a little bit more realism in their psyche, and we immediately lower our standards to what we think is a reasonable person to go for in terms of their attractiveness or their whatever. Women, they are always shooting for the brass ring. When they don't get it, then whoever the poor sap is that you decide to land on is going to have to pay a price for not having been that guy that you really, really wanted. So that guy that is the second or third choice that you're now settling for because you didn't get that top 1%er is now having to pay this ridiculous price that he had nothing to do with it. And now he's playing catch up. He's trying to show you that he is, or he can be, that ideal guy for you. And that's where guys make the huge mistake, is guys immediately will start trying to make up for their deficiencies by being more and more accommodating to whatever your wishes and desires are, whether that be spending money on you or simping with every little whim that you have and trying to make you happy. And that starts the spiral of relationships dissolving and becoming problematic because the guy will never be able to meet that standard. Down deep inside, most men know that if they have a really great relationship with a woman and they really love her, that their lives can be better. We've seen it. We have an idea in our head. Every man has an image of what this perfect woman is like in his head. And she is very much his best friend. She is someone that he trusts implicitly, someone that he is loyal to, someone that he will give his life for. The last bit of advice I would offer you is you need to find the man that you want. Treat him with respect. Don't treat him like a child. Treat him as an equal. Lavish him with love and attention and praise, and he will do the same to you. Be his best friend. Be low maintenance. All right, you guys, that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay healthy, stay single.